Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Alabama Homestead. Today we're taking another look at our winter fall garden. So one of the things that we need to do with this is make sure all the weeds die underneath it. We've still got a little bit of cleanup to do on it. But one thing I want to show you guys, you'll take a look at the soil, and I'm pressing down on it pretty hard. It's about as hard as a rock. That's one thing we need to change about this soil. So more on that later. We're going to do a little bit of tilling in this area. But one thing I want to get for it is better soil. When we start tilling this up and trying to break everything apart, we need to put something on top of that soil to help everything grow better. We need to make the soil a little looser for the crops that we're going to grow. We're going to put carrots in here. You want a soil that's loose and uncompacted. You want to be able for everything to reach down and grow, have some room. You don't want it to condense. So we're going to break all this up. We're going to put better soil on top of it, some topsoil and definitely some organic matter like compost. We've got some good soil out by the cow field where we've put hay for a couple of years, and that soil is dark, rich, black. I mean, it is beautiful soil. So we're going to put that on top of this once we break everything down. First, we got to go get it though. Along with that, we're also going to get more material to put on our compost pile. So we got a lot of work to do today. I just thought of something. Instead of cutting it out and editing it out, I wanted to talk about herbicides in hay. So we had to buy hay a couple of times last year, and I know some farmers around here spray their hay with different herbicides just to control all the broadleaf stuff. But if you do that, if you have sprayed hay and you risk contaminating anything that you would put into your garden. So before we use the soil that was setting for the spent hay that never got eaten and it decomposed, we need to get that soil tested. We also need to check with the people that we bought our hay from and make sure that they don't spray for different herbicides or make sure they don't contain the things that can kill your plants. There's herbicides out there that will stop the growth of seedlings. They'll damage young plants. So we just want to be sure before we take the time to get our garden started that we're not wasting our time and get our material from somewhere else. For now, we'll continue plugging away, getting our organic material from the fallen trees, the chipped up trees. We know where that came from. So we'll continue putting up on our compost pile all that material, and we'll go from there. So just got done adding more compost to the compost pile. Didn't do a time lapse of it this time. If you guys enjoy that, let me know. I'll keep doing it. Just wanted to get some more material on that compost pile, help it break down more efficiently. This week, like I said, we'll wet it down, make sure it's nice and damp. And you don't want it super wet, you just want to get it nice and damp. Make sure that heat up process starts. I need to get a thermometer, put in the center of it. We're looking for temperatures between 90 and 140. So the faster it decomposes, the faster rate that everything breaks down, the quicker you can get a turnaround on your compost. Like I said in previous videos, that compost pile is going to be used for our spring and summer gardens. For our fall and winter garden, we're going to shop around, get some compost. We'll add amendments to it to make it a bit more loamy, so it'll break down easier and it'll be a little more acceptable of what we're trying to grow. Like I said, we just need that soil to be a little more loose. We need water to be able to flow through it freely, and we need to put some nice organic matter on top of it. That way, when we're ready to plant, the plants, the seeds, everything has the best chance it has to make it through the growing season. Also, I know in today's video, you guys are going to be about as heartbroken as I am. Abby is starting her first day of school, like many schools in Alabama. So, wish her good luck. Wish everybody good luck. Hope everybody stays safe out there. So, I miss my helper. I know you guys miss her. So, but good luck to her. She's been wanting to go back to school since summer started. So, hopefully she's having a good day. Our next video, we're going to start breaking up the material and the soil inside that winter garden. Alright guys, so I said I would do this in tomorrow's video, but I couldn't resist. I want to get this started as soon as possible, so it is the next day. And what I have here, got some nice fresh compost. I got this actually from a big box store, so we're taking a little bit of a risk. From what I've researched, this is supposed to be fairly good stuff to use in your garden. I'm not going to tell you guys where it is until I know that this is going to work. If it doesn't work, I don't want you guys getting it. I'm going to work this into the soil, make sure we got enough to cover. If not, I'll go get some more. But I just want to get this started as soon as possible because next week's planting time. We got to plant carrots, we got to get some collard plants, and right now I want to show you just how hard this topsoil is, just so you get an idea of what we're trying to do. So the idea of mixing compost into this garden is to make it more aerated, to make it better for water flow. Right now, you can take a look, and believe me, it feels this way too. That's about as hard as concrete. So, mixing in the organic matter, mixing in all this compost that we have, it's going to really help to break up the soil, make it a lot more aerated, make it a lot more friendly to water. I'm going to get started on that. I'm going to try to just use the fork. I wish I had a broad fork, but right now I have this. If this doesn't work, I'll go get the tiller, but hopefully I can get this done with just some hand tools. Alright guys, real quick, I know I'm not Abby with your fun fact of the day. I miss her too, but I want to talk about organic versus non-organic. One thing that one of the smartest farmers I know said to me was, and it stuck with me all this time for years, she said, just because it's organic doesn't mean that it's great for you. Snake venom is organic. That doesn't mean if you ingest it, it's going to be a good thing. So when we think about organic versus non-organic, I want you guys to do your research before you decide what you do. Both are valid options. You can amend your soil with fertilizer, with store-bought food for your garden. You can amend it with compost like we did. This is an experiment for us. We're trying it. If I gave you the chemical composition of an apple and told you to ingest that and not told you what it was, you'd look at me like I was nuts. So there's a balance that we're trying to meet. We're trying to experiment with organic because we want everything to be the best that we can have. But there is always a balance, and that's the one thing we're trying to find. Alright guys, just got done adding the compost in. As you can see, I had to break out the tiller. This was very tough topsoil, and I can hear some of the questions being asked right now. Cody, why didn't you just use topsoil on top of what you had? You could do that. There are nutrients in topsoil that you could put on top of your garden bed and it would do okay. There are just a lot more nutrients in organic matter. We're experimenting with compost and we're trying to see if that will help with the soil, amending it to be more beneficial with water, water retention, and even issues with water flow to not hold as much water. So there's a balance that we're trying to get with this that you just can't get with topsoil. You put more topsoil on, eventually it's going to be as hard as a rock, just like it was. So we're trying to avoid that. We can amend each year with more and more compost. We can cover, like we have here, with either plastic or fabric tarps, and we can cover with mulch, which we may try, and that'll even decompose and break down over time as well, adding more organic matter. The point is, we're trying to add as much nutrition as we can to help our plants grow throughout the season. We don't want it to just grow through the early part of the season, stop, and maybe produce a bit of vegetation for us to eat. We want it to continue and continue to provide those nutrients throughout the growing season. And like I mentioned earlier, we are experimenting with store-bought compost. I've researched and I've called about the compost we have used, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, like I said, until we see what its potential is. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, we're trying to stay away from anything that has been fed with hay, that has chemicals in it, that stunts growth, or even eliminates your smaller plants. So as far as I was told about everything about this compost and everything that I've researched about it, it seems like it's going to be okay. We'll let you guys know. That's going to be it for us on the Alabama Homestead. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed our video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time.